Focus. All right, click the links for Gab, Odysee, Chute, Discord, or to support the channel if you're so inclined. Okay, so the fake news media. It's just a tough call for our guys because this is an L for Biden, but really it's an L for the country. It's like, they did the same thing to Trump, where they want to see him fail. It's like he's steering the ship. Well, Biden's a little bit different because he's not steering the ship. We all know that. His executive cabinet is steering the ship, which is terrifying because, like, how do we hold those people accountable when they have a place to go to after they destroy this place? Because, when you hold dual citizenship, it makes things a little bit weird as to where your loyalties lie. But I guess I won't get into that. So the fake news media. Okay, there's a couple things going on here that are friggin' hysterical. They're trying to spin this. The left is trying, because the Twitter, in case you don't know, Twitter's like 75% left because they're not kicked off and the right is kicked off. They're trying to spin this as a bunch of, they're doing anything to deflect away from Biden. They go, oh, are these, first I think they said, are they locals? I don't know if they were applying state or local, like just a militia or something. Because they're trying to deflect it away from federal agents, and people are looking at it, they go, no, you can see the badges in some of the videos and some of the photographs. They're federal agents. They're not local Abbott's, Texas governor's state agents. So the L firmly belongs to Biden. It's like Biden's the Democratic guy. He's the left-wing guy. He's your left-wing buddy. Except all this stuff is happening under him. Now, the reason all this stuff, America's falling to pieces, and it absolutely is because Biden is perceived as weak. Because cognitive impairment. We've all heard him speak. He doesn't have dementia. I'm on the right, and I'm not going to lie about Biden. He doesn't have dementia. He's still there. I wouldn't want him driving because he's slowing down. What that means is he's able to make clear, rational decisions, but it takes him longer to do so. I'm guessing. I'm not a gerontologist, whatever. He still seems capable of making good decisions, but it takes longer. That's not what you want in the White House. He might be a senior advisor. He might be a very important person. But the White House, it's like you got to have somebody. Trump's pretty old too, and so is Hillary, but they're both capable of making clear decisions quickly. Biden, no. He's absolutely the last person to have in the White House. That's why I look at this and I say, yeah, buy beans and rice. White rice lasts a long time. Get a few Liberty devices, and obviously, more importantly, the freedom pellets that go with it. Honestly, like you're not gonna fight a war with a 12 bore, or with a 9, or a 40 or 45. You're gonna defend the castle type of thing. So you really you don't need that much. If there's a question where to put money, I'd be like, the thing is, you can also use Liberty pellets for they're essentially money. You're able to trade them for goods, one way or the other. I'm just kidding. The thing is, white rice lasts a long time. And here's a situation where, say you got a neighbor who's hungry, the kids are hungry, and it's like you're not going to turn them away, and you don't want them ever being in such a dire situation where they do something stupid. So it's like you could have like a couple extra 100 pounds of white rice. It literally will last you your lifetime as long as you keep it dry. It's like you're in a better position if you can just give somebody a few pounds of rice and help them out. You know what I'm saying? If you follow my logic without really reading between the lines on YouTube here. Anyway, so this is an L for Biden because these are his troops. And you have a border crisis because Biden is weak. What are you going to do about it? All directions lead to taking an L, because even people on the left is torn. Like some people say, "Oh, just let them in." Like the obvious thing is, we have homeless in America sleeping on the street. We have Los Angeles, San Diego, East Bay, the whole Bay Area, California. We got homeless in California. We have tent cities in California. It's like a second society of homeless people where it's just become a lifestyle where they're using the streets as a bathroom, and there's massive amounts of drugs and all this kind of crime that goes along with it, and it lowers the quality of life. It lowers the in-group. It lowers the trust of a society. It makes things a lot worse, and it's just going ignored. And that's That's something that, like, even the left is looking at this, and then they're looking at, like, the border's wide open. Mexicans are just coming right across. For some reason, Biden's deporting the Haitians. And they're their own weird story, but the Mexicans are coming right across, and you go, on average, you're going to cost over their lifetime, they're going to cost $250,000 from the taxpayer. The resources aren't infinite. You can have free healthcare, taxpayer-funded healthcare for every American, but you can't have an open border because you can't pay for Mexico, Guatemala, El Salvador, all of Central and South America. You can only pay for your people. The resources just aren't infinite, and like people on the left don't get that. When you have, like, there are parasitical losses on the system with some immigrants, and others are net. I'm talking about net gains and net losses, and you just can't keep throwing money at this situation while you have tens of thousands of homeless people, while you have printing money. Like, printing money is, I guess, technically a tax, which would be unconstitutional tax. So would Obamacare would be an unconstitutional tax. But at one end, you're printing money, you're raising the debt ceiling, and the other end, you're creating more parasitical losses on that. Where do you think this goes? What happens? Well, that's why I say white rice and Liberty devices, and get to know your neighbors. Like, literally actually talk to them. Most people don't talk to neighbors. At least know their faces, so you don't hurt one accidentally if the time comes. Forget that. Just get to know people a little bit, because we're headed for very, very deep days. Anyway, so people on the left are torn about immigration. And if you're on the moderate left and you're saying, we got to take care of our own people first, and there's other people on the far left saying, just open the borders. And then people are asking them, like, well, where are they going to go? How are we going to pay for them? Oh, America's a rich country. Not exactly. The bankers who run America are tremendously wealthy. The average American doesn't have those kind of resources. Like I said, there wouldn't be thousands of people living on the streets if America was, quote unquote, a rich country. There's a cognitive disconnect here where you've got tent cities and you have an open border. And there's deeper issues too, with like why is Black America experiencing the problems it is, which goes back to Hart-Celler Act 1965, and then creation of the welfare state. You take the father out of the home, you make him useless, absolutely useless, because the state, the taxpayer, is paying the woman to get pregnant and have kids without a father in the home. What that does is create a bunch of, as Hillary Clinton called them in the 90s, super bad people. And that's, like, the consequences of their actions are what they intended all along. Because to think otherwise, it says, oh, they're just negligent people, they're just stupid people. No, they're really smart people. They did this on purpose. This is what they wanted to create. Absolute chaos. Like, I know some of you from BitChute know what I'm talking about, and I don't know if normies come across this video, but, like, it's time for the normies to start waking up as to what is happening. Perhaps I said enough on this video. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next episode.